Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving right into a pretty turbulent time in history, a period of constant war, some really weak kings, and one commander whose integrity basically put him on a collision course with absolute power.
So to really get what's going on here, you have to picture the scene. We're talking 16th and 17th century Joseon, and things are not great. The kingdom is just getting hammered by invasion after invasion, and the leadership, well, it's seriously lacking.
And this really sets the stage, doesn't it? On one side, you've got King Seonjo. His leadership during the Japanese invasions was, to put it mildly, a total disaster. And then there's King Injo, who literally came to power through a rebellion, which, surprise, surprise, led directly to another invasion, this time from the Manchus. So you see, the crisis wasn't just coming from the outside, it was starting right at the top.
Yeah, and look at this timeline. This wasn't a one-off thing. This was a century of conflict. We're talking about a relentless, sustained period of war that just went on and on. From the Jeongyo War all the way to the Jeongyo Horan, the kingdom was basically in a permanent state of emergency.
But you know, in the middle of all this chaos, one guy really stands out. A commander who was so principled, so unwilling to bend, that even the king he often clashed with, King Seonjo, had to admit, this guy is different. So let's meet him, Commander Ryanggirl Byun.
Ryanggirl came from a noble family, but he had a tough start, losing both his parents before he was even 10. And yet, even as a kid, people said he had the integrity and bearing of a grown-up. And that firm, incorruptible character, that would pretty much define his entire life.
And his career path tells you everything you need to know. He wasn't some guy who schmoozed his way up the ladder in the capital. No way. His career was forged in the heat of battle, in the middle of these national crises. He earned his stripes through pure competence when the kingdom needed him most.
And here's the thing that really made him stand out. It wasn't just about being a great military mind. He was known for being a genuinely good person. Think about it. In an age where corruption was everywhere, he was the one guy you couldn't buy. He'd share his own food, his own clothes with people in need. Getting a big promotion didn't change him one bit. He even warned his own descendants to be careful of having too much good fortune. That just shows you the kind of guy he was.
Okay, so it's easy to have principles when things are going well, right? But what about when you're staring down the most powerful person in the country? That's the real test. And for Ryanggirl, that test was about to get very, very real. Let's get into the incident that put him head-to-head with the king himself.
It all starts with a murder. A high-ranking official is killed, supposedly by a thief. But it quickly becomes clear that this is way more than just a simple robbery gone wrong.
Right away, the rumors start flying. There's talk of a scandal, and all the whispers point in one direction: the king's own son, Prince Imhai. So the message to Ryanggirl, who's in charge of the investigation, is basically back off. Everyone knew that going after a prince was a one-way ticket to ruin or worse.
But was Ryanggirl intimidated? Not a chance. For him, it wasn't about politics. It was about the truth. So he just kept digging. He followed the evidence, and he didn't care one bit how powerful the person at the end of that trail was.
And the consequences? Oh, they came fast. King Seonjo was absolutely furious. Can you imagine? Ryanggirl is dragged into court, and he just lays out the facts, refusing to back down an inch. The king's anger just boils over, and for the crime of telling the truth, Ryanggirl is stripped of everything and sent into exile. That right there was the price you paid for having a conscience in the Joseon court.
So you have to wonder, where does someone get that kind of backbone? To understand why Ryanggirl was willing to risk it all, we actually have to go back in time, to an ancestor of his named Sook, and the philosophy he passed down through the family.
And this is a really radical idea, especially for that era. Sook basically said that since the Joseon Dynasty was founded through a rebellion, its authority was questionable. He taught that true honor, true loyalty, wasn't about just blindly following orders. It was about having the guts to call out injustice, even if that injustice came from the very top.
So think about what this means. This was the core belief in his family. Yeah, winning battles is great, it's honorable, but what's more honorable? Having the moral courage to stand up and say, hey, what you're doing is wrong, even to the people in charge. Ryanggirl wasn't just being stubborn, he was living by his family's highest principle.
And that brings us to the big takeaway here. Because this isn't just some dusty old history story. It's a lesson about power, integrity, and speaking truth that is just as relevant today as it was 400 years ago.
The material we're looking at really leaves us with a heavy question to think about.
Sook warned about what happens when power starts serving a select few instead of everyone. Ryanggirl went up against a system that would rather protect a powerful person than see justice done. So it makes you ask, right? For all our progress, how much have things really changed?
And this final thought really nails it. The story of Ryanggirl Byun is the ultimate reminder that while integrity can come with a heavy price, a society that punishes people for having it is in real trouble. It's a lesson from the past that's also a warning for the present. We have to pay attention, because these struggles for justice and accountability, they're still happening right now.